welcome to you, Dakota. Welcome to you, Ro. We are celebrating 10 years of carrying women in motion, and Tea Time Pictures, I feel like, is a perfect example of what the mission of this whole program is about. It is about women championing women and all kinds of forms and formats. And when you think about the 6 years of this company, from the time you all came together to officially found it to now, what are you the most proud of in the evolution of Tea Time? Dakota, I'll start with you.
Obviously I'm proud of everything we've accomplished in these 6 years and the movies we've made and the TV show we made. And I think I'm most proud of our relationship, our working dynamic. I feel, she's my best friend, but also we work extremely well together, and it's a very, it's a very productive and viable partnership. It really works, and I think it's hard to find a person in this industry, in the world of arts, where you're like, oh, that's really the other part of my brain. That is, she is in my head, I am in her head. We have the same taste. We have the same thoughts about things, same notes about it's just like an extraordinary gift. So I'm proud of that.
Yeah. Rose, tell me about that synergy and how it has worked for you, and yeah, the idea of carrying that into the work that you all produce.
Yeah, well, takes some mind reading skills, which is our specialty as women. But it's like so special, and I think so rare to have such an ease with how we operate day to day. And that kind of just flows into everything we do. It's how we think about hiring filmmakers, crew, staff, all the women we work with at Tea Time are just like special.
Our company is all women, except we just are hiring our first male.
We let him
him into the
so good of
coven.
You to be so inclusive.
No. We are really, thinking about them.
Well, I mean, that is an important thing to have. When we talk about women-focused and women-led, it is not exclusionary of men, but there is a special language oftentimes between us that is just kind of unexplained and unexplainable and beneficial to the work that you're doing.
Definitely.
Yeah. And we have some amazing women that work with us, and it's been also incredible to watch them grow into their jobs and be able to promote them because they're genuinely very good at what they do, and they love to work with us and love to learn and grow, and that's been so rich, I think, for us.
Yeah, we cultivate a really safe space for women to operate. And, any stories that they may not be able to pursue in other jobs, we totally, I think it's hard to do the films that we want to do all the time, but we just give them the kind of space to pursue those.
I've heard you all talk about that a bit. Is there isn't really a credo or a mandate for the kind of movies you're trying to make, but it's about protecting your filmmakers and about taking those risks on films or movies that other production companies or studios might not. How have you found navigating that and being able to just kind of push those things forward and really protect them? I guess we could start with talking about Splitzville. You partnered with Michael and Kyle, the amazing guys behind The Climb. What did that look like initially when you started to think about, jumping onto this production?
Well, so much of why I wanted to start a production company and make my own movies is because I want more from this industry. I want more from my experience as an artist. I felt so thirsty for more conversation and more creativity and more collaboration. And I found myself as an actor a few times, showing up to the premiere of a movie to see it the first time and being like, whoa, that's not what I thought we were making. And that's such a weird thing to do. And of course, sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not. But I love it. I love making movies. I love every aspect of it. I love every person that works on a set. And the way that we build our sets is really vibe based, like really energy based. And it's very much a no asshole policy.
Important.
And the other thing is that we really ensure that every single person on the crew knows what we're making, so that everybody feels a part of it. And like working in movies, the hours are long, it's grueling, sometimes it's freezing cold or boiling hot. You know, it's not like comfortable, it's not nice. and when you feel like you're genuinely invested in something, people are happier and they work better and they feel a part of something. And so with Splitzville, I had met the guys like a year and a half ago, and they had this idea, and then they went away and they were writing, and then we signed on to produce it because I saw The Climb, and it's an incredible film. It's I don't understand how it's not like so widely popular, but obviously that is what happens. But Mike is an amazing filmmaker, and the two of them together are really a wonderful writing duo, and it's very clever, it's very soulful, very smart. And I that's the kind of thing that we love to do, is to work with lesser known filmmakers that we're like, oh gosh, that's a gem, that's a diamond, and we can help and we can support and we can, you know, learn from them as well. It's really nice to have fresh creativity, fresh stories, not repeats, not remakes. It's nice to like speak to a newer filmmaker and feel like you're learning something.
What does it mean to have that film here at Cannes, and also for, you know, it to be a showcase in some ways for Tea Time here at a festival like this one?
Yeah, I mean, this is Dakota's first Cannes, and my
I've never been to
Cannes.
Cannes.
Dakota's first Cannes.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's rewind a second then. How are you finding it? I mean, this is such an incredible festival. What is it like to have your first film in Cannes?
Well, I mean, I've slept like 2 hours. I think I've been here for 2 days.
Could be 2, it could be 12.
I'm not sure. I for some reason I was like, I guess I'm just never going to Cannes. Like I've been to Venice Film Festival loads of times, and I was like, I guess Cannes doesn't want me because I've been to Venice too many times. And but it's so fun and incredible to see everybody here and all of the amazing filmmakers and meet people. And I haven't gotten to see any movies, but I don't know.
We premiere tonight.
Yeah. It's crazy, and it's crazy that we're here with a movie that we made. It's just like a crazy, crazy dream.
Okay, Ro, yes, go. Let's go back to.
Sorry.
No, it is very special because it's kind of a unique film to have at Cannes too, because it's an American comedy.
Yeah.
But the guys do have a bit of a European flair. I'm excited for everyone to see it because it doesn't feel like an American comedy.
But they would love to hear that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome.
But, you know, Neon came onto the film early, so obviously they're Cannes celebs big time. So it's lovely to be here with them. But I think, like, for us, kind of like what Dakota was saying, we really do champion original ideas too. So original ideas from newer filmmakers is kind of like our deepest passion. So it's so amazing to be here for the first time with a movie like that just feels like exactly the kind of movies we like to be making. So
I love that this Tea Time is yes, it's a production company. Yes, it is about making movies, but you really are just kind of a full curatorial experience. It's also the book club. It's really about art in all of its forms. How did you all kind of, I guess, develop Tea Time to kind of be a bit broader in your reach and the way you want to talk to your audience?
Well, it's a lot of how I experience and absorb art, music, film, books. I go deep, and I thought that I didn't want to be like a curatorial or like a lifestyle blog or whatever, but I like that, like what we've done with the book club, where we have the deep dive, so you can subscribe to the Tea Time channel, and every month we have a book that we choose, which is usually newer authors, incredible stories, incredible writers, and I'm just like so always in awe of an author. Like, the idea of writing a book to me is totally impossible, so I just find it to be magnificent. And we have an author who works for us now at Tea Time, named Chrissy, who has relationships. We now have relationships with all the publishing houses, and we get sent early copies of books. So we have these books, and then the deep dive is basically how I read, which is like if they reference a song, or if there's a museum, like learning more about the actual, like the references in the book. But then, because the author is now involved in the deep dives, they send over like the journey that they went on to write the book. And sometimes there's photos of the writing process, there's playlists that they make, there's watch lists, and it really feels like you have a closer relationship with the mind of the author.
Well, I mean, as you think of it too, it is, books are obviously so rife for adaptation, and it is already kind of creating this beautiful pipeline for you all to continue to make stories. I also just love that this has been an expansion also into directing for you, Dakota. You had your first film at TIFF last year, Loser Baby. Ro, I understand you were responsible for that. For submitting that.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Unbeknownst to Dakota.
Yes.
Yeah. She was like, let's make this thing. It was kind of our group of friends, a really special story. She wanted, she obviously has directing ambitions. And so we made this thing. I was like, this is very good. She was like, is it? I don't know. So I secretly submitted it to TIFF. And then we got in, and she was like, how did this even happen? But it was very special.
It's special too, because that's a project that my understanding is you developed it as sort of almost a proof of concept, if you will. I mean, you guys are making art in so many different and interesting ways, and kind of navigating this business differently by doing so. What was it like to kind of bring a project like that there, both have it as your directorial debut in a sense, and also to know that it's a launch pad for something else?
Well, can I talk about that? That we wanted it to be a show?
I mean, I think you are talking about it.
I think you have talked about it a little
That
bit.
was my plan.
Yeah.
We wanted it to be a TV show, and it's a short film about queer friends living in Los Angeles and their relationships and their complications and their friendships and their sexuality and their identity, and nobody wanted to fucking make it. And I was like, why? That's such a global conversation, and it should be talked about all the time, but whatever. So it was a proof of concept that just is sitting there proofing its concept.
Yeah, it's just proofing. It is tricky, because we do take these bets based on what we feel. And even with the book club, honestly, like, we're not choosing books to adapt. We're choosing books that we just love. And if they happen to work in that way, that's amazing. But we're really focused on the art first. and then hopefully that just reaches more people. And so, yeah, the truth of Loser Baby, seeing as we're speaking the truth, was it was kind of dead on the shelf. And so I was like, this needs some sort of a life. And that's how the TIFF thing happened.
And that's kind of the power. That's when what you were saying, Dakota, earlier about kind of feeling sometimes like things get stagnant, things don't go the way they should. When you have a company like this, you're able to kind of actually push it forward. I remember Cha Cha Real Smooth, when your first, that was essentially the first film.
Sorry, second bit.
Yes, the second. Because Am I Okay was first, yes.
Yeah.
But came out first.
See, that's what happens.
You're right.
Yeah.
But to even just launch with those two films that are kind of, two different types of emerging filmmakers, what, as you think of kind of the early beginnings of this company, I guess it probably hasn't changed versus what you set out to do versus what you're doing now, but what do you remember about kind of launching into all of this?
Well, firstly, that it was very, very challenging for people to take us seriously. That was sad, really lame. And it's hard because I think I have glamorized this industry my whole life and just thought it's pure magic. And then to see behind the curtain in that way a little bit was just shitty. And so it was hard. And then some professionals who run studios don't feel the desire to make things that are different or risky or scary or dangerous or raw and real and human and messy. And that's also really hard because that's the kind of, as an actor, that's what I'm craving. As an audience member, that's what I'm craving. So it's a constant fight, but we're fighters. Like we hustle and we just really work so hard to tell the stories that we love.
Can I tell you how much I appreciate that candor? Because I think a lot of people would assume, okay, Dakota Johnson is, the daughter of famous actors. She's been in this industry forever. It must be so easy for her to get every project made. And even still, it is not.
It is not.
How have you found your confidence and your tenacity even through that? Because it isn't easy when people don't take you seriously or don't want to believe that you are actually an artist behind it all.
I don't know.
I think it's like cellular for her. Like she just is that way. They're like the most tenacious person. It just like there isn't, the no's only fuel the drive, It's just it's who we both are, really.
Yeah.
It's always nice when your best friend sees that in you too.
That is nice.
I see you.
Thanks, bro.
I want to talk to you about directors a bit, since we did talk about Loser Baby. I know you've had these kind of ambitions thus far. What was it like for you to get into the director's chair and actually have that come to fruition?
I really loved it.
Yeah.
So much. I just had so much fun. So much fun. And it was a different kind of accessing for me and a different process. And I don't know. I had the fucking time of my life.
Yeah, it was very natural. And it's very exciting for me to think about doing that more with her because it's just...
It also, I think obviously I've worked with a lot of directors and I have learned things from so many amazing people and also learned things that really suck. And so I know what to not put actors through or what not to say.
Or the crew as well.
Yeah.
Not just your actors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard you say working with Maggie Gyllenhaal was one of those moments that did make you feel very empowered that you could direct.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was it about that experience, especially as an actor, working with a female Helmer that kind of gave you that confidence?
I mean, I have had the privilege of working with a lot of female directors.
Yeah.
We counted
Yes.
back there, and it's 12.
Yes. A nice dozen.
Mm-hmm.
An easy dozen. And with Maggie, I think because she's an actress to begin with, honestly, I feel like there's a narrative for me as an actress that I absorbed as I was starting, that like I wasn't the creative mind. I wasn't able to, I'm not able to write. I'm not a director. I'm an actress. And I don't know why. I don't know why I guess because it's not really, you're not taken seriously all the time. And with Maggie, the way that her mind is so brilliant, like brilliant. And her writing, her directing, her language, her poetry, the way she speaks to you, interacts with you, the way she sees the world, the way she sees people, it just was so inspiring that I was like, oh, I can let that out too. It's so brave of her to let that be visible and to like put the words on the page and go, I know I'm going to follow this. Whereas anytime I've wanted to follow something, for some reason I've been told that I can't by the world. And I just can't do it anymore.
What is your aspiration when you think about, now that you know you can do it, what is the thing that you want to do? Do you have like a project that's speaking to your heart that you really want to get out there?
Well, we have a few that we're working on. There is one that I think that I want to direct, but I also need to like grow the fucking balls to do it. As I talk about being a woman, I need to have balls. No, I don't.
No.
Never mind.
You have.
I'm not gonna grow balls.
No.
And no one can make me.
You don't need them.
You already have.
You have the guts to do it. Mm-hmm. What is it about this project? You know, you can't probably say exactly what it is, but what is it about this project that makes you say, this is the one I want to direct?
Oh, God.
I think you should talk about it.
Really?
Yeah.
This is the place.
Yeah.
We are putting dreams out there. This is where Nicole Kidman at Cannes said she was going to work with a female director every 18 months. Now she's done it 27 times. So this is where we put words.
Has she?
27, yeah, in 8 years.
27 women?
Well, 27 times, some is with the same woman, like Suzanne Bier, for example.
That is so rad.
It is. She's an icon. But so are you. So say it. What is it that you want to do?
Well, so in Cha-Cha Real Smooth, the girl that plays my daughter, Vanessa Berghardt, she is an autistic actress and musician and brilliant person. And we have been working with her on developing a script. She's written a script, and it's really special. And it's about a young woman with autism. And I feel very protective of her and her story and her mind. She's just an unbelievable woman. So that's kind of the thing that I just don't think I could allow anyone else to direct it. Yeah. So we'll see.
It feels like your baby. You feel protective of
Yes.
it. And again, of Vanessa.
Yeah.
To be able to have that platform, I think this is kind of what we've been speaking to the whole time, but to elevate her voice. You know, what does that mean to you as you think of Tea Time moving forward? How does that continue also to speak to the diversity of voices? You know, we were backstage talking about Elaine May. Also, there are so many different women you all are working with. and speaking to. So I guess, Ro, I'll start with you on that.
Yeah, I mean, those are two amazing examples of exactly what we want to be doing. You know, with Vanessa, she's now 21, but she started writing this script when she was a teenager. She didn't even have final draft, you know? We had to buy final draft for her, teach her to use it. And as soon as she started to get into it, it was like, oh my God, you're so capable. And so with that, you know, it's very specific of just give her the tools and she can do it. With Elaine, who's 93 and a legend, you know, she's going to be directing a film as well that Dakota's starring in. And it's so fun with her too. I can only reach her on her landline. So, you know, but like, she is such a mega force and still has so much to say. And so just surrounding her with as much as we can to make that happen too. That, like, that's what we're doing every day and just drives us. It's so fun. It's, you know, definitely.
Yeah. And then we have things that are so exciting and we cannot talk about it.
You can't make us talk about those.
It is crazy.
Just know that they're coming.
We'll just have to do this again when you come to Cannes next time.
Next year.
Next year. Next year.
Well,
and then also maybe again with your directorial debut, your feature with Vanessa.
I don't know. We'll see how it goes tonight.
Well, I will say, this is,
I'm also terrified of directing, so I'm not going to do it.
You know what? She's backed out.
It's okay.
I just backed out.
people fall out of projects all the time. But I will say this is not the only time we're going to see you on screen this year. You're also working with Celine Song in Materialist. Just really a new and fresh and innovative take on romance and looking at how we look at romance in a different way. What did you learn most from working with her and that experience?
That was incredible. Celine, I think because of her background as a playwright, the way she knows what she wants is that it runs a lot deeper in her than I've experienced before with directors. She knows what she wants from every single frame of the movie, and yet is still open for magic and open to exploring and figuring things out. So it was just such a wonderful experience, and I felt truly guided, you know, and I think sometimes I'll feel quite unsafe just because the job inherently is you're so vulnerable, and but we got to a place where we were just communicating without words, and she'd come and give me a look and I'd be like, oh, I got it, yeah. You know, and that kind of dynamic was just so beautiful. And her team is beautiful. The people she works with are incredible. Everyone is so masterful. Xavier, our DP, just masterful. And it was just, she's a real special filmmaker. I feel grateful and honored that I was able to work with her so early on in her career.
It's a special film. I've gotten a sneak peek of it as well.
Oh, did you?
I have seen it.
Did you like it?
I liked it very much, actually. I think
Okay.
I think it will get conversation sparked because it asks the audience to be just as vulnerable as you all are being in the film. So congratulations,
Thanks.
Dakota. We all can't wait to see Splitzville tonight. Enjoy your very first Cannes premiere.
you.
Congratulations, Ro.
Thank you.
And thank you all so much for joining us.
Thank you.